Today we have the legendary Isaiah Katumwa from Uganda, based in America, Philadelphia. Thanks for having us here.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
And we're glad to have you, because we've been following you for a minute.
Yeah, man. It's great to see you, man.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
How have you been?
I've been okay. Still recovering from the long break from the pandemic.
I can imagine.
Yes,
I can imagine.
But it's good now. It's
so
good.
we couldn't travel anywhere.
Exactly.
Like it was a sticky
It's crazy. Yeah. Not knowing exactly how it's going to look like, whether it's going to come through or
But did your creativity like change in that kind of moment? Did you have time to think about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of good stuff. Thinking, family, spending time with my kids, but also taking time to practice but of course there was some kind of anticipation and anxiety, not knowing what's going to happen. I missed a lot of performances. There's a little bit of disconnect that I got. My schedule is changing and all that.
Yeah.
But in general, I think there was a lot of a lot of opportunities to actually think about life in a new light, slow down and, so I think there were a lot of positives.
I've had so many people saying, we have to get used to the new normal.
Exactly.
But what's the new normal? What does that mean?
I think the new normal is also fading out, because we thought we are going to have masks forever, or we're going to have them maybe for 10 years or so. I think we're getting back to the other normal.
Yeah.
Of course, the economy won't be the same.
First of all, I have to give you flowers of being the best dad, because I see you. I see your little son try to do everything that you do.
Well, it's really basic chores.
But do you feel worried that it's gonna overcome everything and be even better than you?
Don't tell you what. For me, my principle is this: what do I have? I'm just a musician.
Yeah.
If I can give that to my sons, they have other things to do. They can choose at some point, but I have to make sure that what I have, I've tried to give it. So I don't expect them to be musicians. No, I don't. But I at least if they decide, they get to the stage that they decide that I want to be a musician, they have something to start with.
Because one thing I believe, you have to give your children tools. And tools of survival.
Exactly.
Because and when they grow up, they have different options. They can go either way.
But you can only give what you have, right? Still the same point.
I believe you can be the guardians, the best guardians you can be, to guide them in the right direction.
Exactly.
But they have their own way to maneuver in life.
Exactly. So someone said something very powerful. He said that it's not what I leave to them that is more important. It's what I leave in them.
That makes sense.
That's
a powerful message.
It is very powerful. So and it came to me at a point where I was thinking the same. I was thinking that I may not leave so much to them, but I want to know that they have the tools.
Yeah.
They can you just throw them anywhere, they can blossom. That's my prayer. I don't say that I have it all worked out.
But you know
that's my
what?
prayer.
Back to your career, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you've been the saxophonist for a minute.
Yeah, man.
But then you got me twisted. I had you sing.
Right. Yeah,
I was like, what?
I wouldn't call myself a singer because I
So
have worked with my,
what was that moment? What was that pivoting point where you turned into from blowing the horn
yeah.
to getting the microphone and sing your heart out?
I'll surprise you. I've been always a singer. I've sung in
Wow.
choirs. I've sung in bands. I've always sung, but my focus was the saxophone. I thought many people sing, and I can't really stand out when I sing. So why don't I focus on the saxophone? Because in the places where we at the time that we were playing saxophone, not many people were playing saxophones.
No.
So it was kind of unique, and I gave it more emphasis, and you know, so I sing when I have to, and when I know that there's nobody. I mean, there's someone better than me, I'll let them sing. But if I'm better, I'll try to sing and still do my saxophone.
Yeah, I've tried to do a little bit of digging in your career, right? I just found out that you're not just a Ugandan artist. You're international. Cause I'm like, I see people. I've seen the shows you do. Like you've been in a few African countries. You've been in Europe. You've been. Let's talk about United States now. You're here.
Yeah.
You do shows everywhere.
Right.
So how do you keep your audience fed or entertained, like people to draw onto your music?
Well, it's a constant journey because when you're doing something for the first time and there's nobody that has done it before you, you're always trying to juggle here and there, try to be creative and try to figure out things, and so it's not been so smooth. That it's not smooth at all. But
Can imagine.
I try to make sure that I learn my audience. Try to understand what they like about my music, or what is that we connect with them, because I try to stay true to my music as well. I like what I'm playing, so if I play it for you and you enjoy it, then I know, oh, that works. So I try to learn what I'm doing and learn the industry, and also try to figure out how am I relevant and how do I connect with people, how do I grow.
I won't
and
mention
how do I
someone's
connect.
name, but I was having a conversation somewhere like a while back, and I was asking this person like, "What's your guilty pleasure or something?" Like, you say, "I love jazz music." I'm like, why would that be a guilty pleasure, right? If you love some certain music,
Right.
but I listen to rap more than that. But I'm like, listen, how do you feel when you listen to jazz music or when you hear someone play a saxophone? And it's like, that's my life. It calm me down. I feel good about myself. I can meditate on that music. It's like you're giving the world some remedy to their depression and stress. And I don't know what kind of names I can come up with.
So I must tell you, every time I play my saxophone, I'm thankful. I'm very thankful to God that I'm one of the group of people who does something that is so positive to the world, that gives healing, that gives comfort, that gives joy, that gives. It is such a pleasure, such an honor, such something I never take for granted, and humbles me so much that that's my job. That's what I do. That what I do gives joy to people, gives comfort to people. So I don't take it for granted, and I don't think so much technical. I don't think so much about subgenres and names of genres and styles. And I try to do music that I enjoy, and so happens that jazz has been a very big influence. But I don't think about I'm doing jazz.
Yeah.
I like you'll hear zouk in my music, you'll hear reggae, you'll hear world music, you'll hear all those sorts of things, because I want to be honest and genuine. But as long as I can share my heart, of trying to share joy, trying to share comfort to somebody, trying to give some kind of a smile, Reminds me of one of our songs that is Smile On. Just
Talking
to get
about
people
smile, right? I just want to segue into the legendary people that you've worked with. Dave Cause, Masakela. Like, I want you to just, like,
It's
what was that moment where you're like, you started working with all these people?
so I'll tell you a story of my life that is that keeps me humble and very thankful. When I was younger and I was beginning to dream bigger and I'm beginning to believe that maybe I could do this, I had 7 names that I always dreamed that if I could meet these people, or I admired them, I read about them, I tried to. And these people were Miriam Makeba, Angelique Kidjo, Jonathan Butler, Kirk Whelan, Huma Sekela, Manu Dibango, Dave Coase. The 7 names I have been counting. One, which was Miriam Makeba in 2007.
Wow.
And then Jonathan Butler, I think 2009. And then there was Huma Sekela in 2015, I think. Then Kirk Whelan, then Angelique Kidjo, then Manudi. All these people, I ended up working with them on stage, like sharing the stage with them. And every time that happened, I never believed it. It's like, what? It's happening.
You could like you see yourself there, but you don't see yourself in that kind of setting.
Yeah, but because I know I don't belong there, I don't deserve to be there. So I always maximize that opportunity to try to make sure that I learn from these people. These are people whose experience is more than my age. Yeah, all of them. Apart from, of course, Dave and maybe Kirk. But if Masekela died at the age of 70, his experience on stage was 60 years.
Wow.
Manu Dibango died with an experience of 60 years during the pandemic.
That's amazing.
Miriam Makeba was even more than that. What can you exchange with that? So all these people have been celebrities before I even did music.
So you being younger and had a list of the people that you wanted to work with at any time in the future, right?
Right.
So does that mean, are you telling me that made you keep the consistency for that long?
Not really. I mean, we all have dreams, and these people kept my dream alive just because I wanted to be like them. Now, when you get to meet them, you realize that, there's much more.
Wow.
There's much more. Because if someone, you're sharing with someone, like, for example, I'll give an example of Huma Sekela. You're on stage with Huma Sekela. He's been on stage for 60 years.
60 years, that's a lot.
And he is humble. He is hardworking. He is all these things that you think that, when I get this way, I'll take a break. There's no break. You just have to enjoy it. So there's a lot that I had to learn from those experiences. But at the same time, I realized that I have a unique opportunity to get one-on-one with these people to realize what exactly it means to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I read somewhere, right? I read somewhere that a little bit of how you started, right? But then I'm like, I don't want to go into that too much, but I believe you're self-taught.
Of course I'm self-taught. And you know the
Talk
story.
about that.
You know the story. I was raised by a gentleman called Mugerwa in a school who introduced me to the saxophone. So I owe it to him. I give him credit every time I talk about my beginning.
He's an amazing guy.
I give him all the credit for beginning me on the saxophone. It was not smooth. I had to give and get some some spunks
Yeah.
to go practice. So that's the other reason why I say I don't, he deserves the credit. But he did a good job, introducing me to the saxophone, to the trumpets, and all that. And then, of course, that was when I was a little kid. And then I took it on, studied a little bit of music in my high school, and really figuring it out. I never had a teacher. I've never had a teacher apart from my mentors now.
During your self teaching, and okay, that you're younger, you're naive, like you don't know whether you have pursued a career in saxophone, like playing the saxophone. So what was really going into your mind? Like, did you feel like you're giving up some time?
The earlier stages, I always knew I was going to be a saxophonist, and I always knew that I was going to be famous. I don't know how, but the thing that kept me going, I had never seen anyone play the saxophone. So I said, I will do it. I will do it. And for some reason, I had a drive that nothing is impossible. If nobody has done it, I will be the first to do it. So it's not been easy. Especially in the times that I'm talking about, we didn't have internet, we didn't have this business of YouTube, we didn't even have music stores.
So were you sending letters in the bottle and put them in the river was that a way of communication?
No, at that point, actually, we depended so much on the brass bands of the government, like prisons band, the police band, to get accessories like reeds and stuff like that. Because there's no store that you're going to get reeds. The closest store that had accessories was in Kenya, in Nairobi, Music Land and Asanat. So you couldn't even buy music. Think about music, saxophone music. We didn't have a music school. So it's sometimes I sit down and
Hold on a minute. You mean you didn't learn how to read music?
No. So we studied in high school, we studied a bit of music, but it was so basic. It had nothing to do with my saxophone because it was too basic, and I was playing,
advanced stuff already.
A little different, a little advanced stuff compared to what I was. So I wouldn't. No, there was no music school. So you have to know that there was no music school in Kampala.
Wow.
And not even a music store. So
the only way is to travel to Kenya and buy whatever you want to buy.
Yes, but I couldn't afford. So I depended so much on relationships with there was an old man called Kasaija in police band. There was another one, Kokole. They used to get accessories from the government, and of course they would sell a little bit for us to
a little bit of yeah.
And of course, Mr. Mugerwa helped a lot sometimes when it was when I was smaller. But with time, I had to figure it out, Wow. And then, of course, got into different genres. I tell people sometimes, and they're surprised. I played with all sorts. If not, it's possible that I played with all genres that were there at that time. Because I played in a blues band that was initiated by a French man called Frank Morel, who played at the Sheraton. Then I played with a rock and roll band initiated by a German man who everyone was an expatriate,
Wow.
And then I played with Waka Waka, which was a competitor of a Frigo band. And then I played with Ndere Troop, where we were doing on traditional.
I've heard about yeah.
And then I played with Katumwa and the Afri Diamonds.
R.I.P. I just had the bad news that he just passed away.
Yes, that's terrible. I felt so terrible. I worked with Paul Cafero and Fred Sevata. And then Katumwa come Ugandan stuff.
Yeah.
Then I worked with choirs.
Wow.
So I had an opportunity of working with different
You've been a national
genres.
plug.
You know, and for me, I used that
Different
opportunity.
connection,
And
different
we were
genres,
again,
right.
just so you know, that we were the pioneers of the Eagles production. The
Is
band,
it?
the Mr
Wow.
We will work with them. So I had an opportunity of almost plugging into every
Everything,
style,
yeah.
and so for me, when I try to do what I do, and I'm trying to be honest, I'm digging from all that wealth of different sounds, and I don't know whether I do it well, but I'm enjoying myself when I do it.
Yeah,
So,
I just have to give you your flowers that you're doing an amazing job. You put in
so
work.
it's, so it's
So,
humbling to hear.
I've spoken to a few people that you inspire, and they're like, this guy is a beast. He's consistent. Consistent.
I try to be. There's a lot to learn. I'm still learning. I'm still
So
working.
I just want to round up this. It's been a nice chat, but how do you keep the consistency? And the other thing, do you have any advice for the younger people who find it difficult to make decisions and stick and like have the right path?
I must be honest, I don't have it all together. I'm still paving, I'm still trying to figure out things. I'm still, especially the fact that I'm still dreaming up there. And like I said, it's not a path that existed. It's a path that I'm beating to figure out, you know. And I'm so grateful to my mentors, people like the idols that I've mentioned with. They've been fantastic and accessible to me to give me advice and all that. But having said that, the thing that helps me to be consistent, one is I acknowledge God in my being.
That's a very important point.
So for me, I walk with that in my case. That's the first thing, you know. It helps me keep focused. First of all, to understand or try to figure out why am I doing what I'm doing, because it could be someone else. I didn't make the decision for me to be gifted.
But I have to remind you, you didn't make the decision, but your consistency and you loving what you do from a younger age,
Yeah.
a very young age, not just a young age, as a very young age,
Yeah.
you made that decision. And walking around with that saxophone for you to have that passion. And first of all, you had a passion.
Yeah, but like one of my mentors says, it's God gives you a gift. So His gift to you is a gift, but your gift to Him is what you do with the gift He's given you. So for me, the best I can do with the gift He's given me is to try as much as I can to sharpen it, to make it the best I can make it as I share it. Sometimes I look in the mirror and I feel I'm not done a good job.
Trust me.
I've not
Trust
done
me.
a
We
good
can
job.
see it. We can see it.
You know, and it's perspective.
We can see it. You
that-
have to be confident. I'm telling you, it's out there. People know you and they see the best of the best.
Yeah, well, thank you. But I'm still doing my best. I think that there's a lot to cover. I'm so happy about the people that you know somehow managed to inspire and motivate. I try to be accessible to encourage very fantastic players and gifted young people coming up and about, and I try to share the experiences because there are many resources available that I may not have had and they can use that. So the thing about consistency, as you asked, is that I think that you need to know where you're going. You need to know what you want.
So you have to have a direction.
Exactly. It's like I hear this in the conversation about ladies. They say that the guy didn't know what he wanted. So you need to know what you want. So if you want a lady and that's what you want, pursue her, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. It's like the prize, whatever prize you're pursuing, you're not going to get it unless you're focused on it. So I try to focus on what I'm looking for. I know one thing, that the everything you put in time, the more time you put in, the more you should demand from it, because you have actually paid the price. So if I've put whatever I put in my saxophone, I'm demanding that my saxophone reward me, because I've put in the time, I've focused on it, I would have been doing something else. I decided to be on new saxophone, so better pay me something. You know, that's the kind of mindset. So
I wanted to go into that, like, cause I understand your saxophones are just custom made.
right.
How I just can't get around my head. Like, how did you manage to do that?
No, it's just an opportunity, and and I must say that it's not ongoing. Although I keep them now, but I was an endorsee. I was endorsing the brand, and one of the opportunities or the blessing about that is that you can choose to customize some elements of the brand that you endorse. So it's not such a big deal, but it is a big deal.
It is a big deal. Trust me, it is a big deal.
For me, it was such a big honor because I had never imagined that was possible. So yeah, it's exciting stuff, but also it's real work ahead, and you know, do what you can.
Isaiah, it's been an amazing moment or time to have you here. And I'll take back the messages to London. And if I have a chance to go back to Uganda,
Right.
I'll start walling at your name. It's been an amazing opportunity here in Philly,
Yeah. No,
Philly,
thank you.
Philadelphia.
Thank you.
Yeah, but nice to meet you, and I'm glad we should have this kind of conversation often,
Anytime,
because
man. Anytime,
people
man.
want to hear you, and so many
Anytime,
people are
man.
inspired.
Yeah,
But
man.
thank you for having me here, and I'll leave you to go back to your family
Thank
and
you.
enjoy your sons, and inspire them more, because I know they're coming.
Oh yeah. No, they are the real deal.
I get,
Like
know.
John Baptist said that I come, but the real one is
But the
coming.
amount, one amazing thing is the amount of competition, like and focus, like it's
Yeah. Oh no,
It's different.
especially the older one, Mitchell. He knows what he wants. He's grown. The younger one, I don't know yet, but he's extremely gifted. I don't know whether he knows it, but he's just being a kid.
They
So-
say if you know, you get cocky, but if you think you don't know, then it takes you even farther.
Yeah. Well.
I don't know. That's an analogy. Like, it's no. I don't know if it's real or not, but thanks for having me here.
No, thank you. Thank you for coming,
Yeah.
man. Thank you.